You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Spring is in the air, and Easter's right around the corner. The city of Hazleton kicked off the holiday on the right foot by hosting something exciting for all the local kiddos. And our Julie Stefanovich has more from Tuesday's drive-through event.
Though the inclement weather may have postponed Hazleton's Easter drive-through event this past Sunday, yesterday's rescheduled festivity was all sunshine and smiles. It was made possible by the City of Hazleton's Recreation Department and the Mayor Cassette Revitalization Fund, along with numerous area organizations.
We are so thrilled to be part of anything for our community. We try very hard to give back to our community. They're so generous to us. And the children love this. We give them free candy and we get to say Happy Easter. Most importantly, we see their smiles and their families are delighted. During the pandemic, it's so hard to see our community. So this is a wonderful event.
The kids got the chance to see the Easter Bunny and were handed some special treats as their parents cruised through City View Park.
We were able to get about 13 to 14 vendors who are here, so different organizations from throughout the greater Hazleton area, including Unico and Rotary, MMI, school is here, we have Pathways to Recovery, the Mayor's Office, Hazleton Public Transit, Lehigh Valley Health Network, the Army National Guard recruiters, and others. I know I'm missing some of them. But they're all here handing out goodies to everyone who drives by. So in this time of COVID, it was just a great opportunity to have some social distancing but also have some Easter cheer this year. So we're just glad that we're able to do it and give back to the community who has been through so much this year.
The feeling was mutual as both organizers and participants alike were glad to get out and see some both new and familiar faces after a long pandemic lockdown.
Well, I personally am so excited to see other people. Even if we are masked and a distance away, it's fine. We can still do this. We can still enjoy a holiday. We can still enjoy our community. I personally am so delighted that we've gotten this far with the pandemic, that we can see our community.
While mask wearing and social distancing are still a must, yesterday's event was a sneak peek of better days to come.
We're hoping that we're starting to kind of crest that point where we're going to start to see some more normal activities kind of go on, and that's what we're hoping for. This is really our first event of the year being put on by the Mayor's Office and the Recreation Department here in Hazleton. So, and we're excited to get everybody out to start enjoying this nice weather and to kind of bring back a little bit of that normal feeling that we had. So hopefully, we know COVID-19 isn't over. We know it's still here, but with the precautions that were taking place, we're excited to be out here and spread some Easter joy this year.
And another Hazleton favorite is expected to make a comeback this year. Unico's Belle Italia Festival is scheduled for September 17th, 18th, and 19th, so stay tuned. In Hazleton, for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. West Hazleton police found a large quantity of drugs during a shooting investigation in the borough. Police responded to Adams Avenue Monday for a report of shots fired. Shortly afterwards, they observed a car that matched the description of a vehicle that was reported leaving the scene. Officers pulled over 21-year-old Joseph Castillo, who was in possession of nearly 800 bags of suspected heroin and fentanyl. He was then charged for possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance. A Wilkes-Barre man faces numerous charges after a report of shots fired Tuesday night on Blackman Street. Police were called to the scene shortly after 9 last night and were told by witnesses of 46-year-old Tyrone Sweeney's alleged involvement. Sweeney was allegedly intoxicated on a nearby porch, yelling at the officers who found him, and was tased after resisting arrest. Police later obtained a search warrant for the residence and found a pistol with a jammed spent shell casing hidden inside a dog food container, along with other spent shell casings inside the home. Sweeney was charged with illegal possession of a firearm, public drunkenness, reckless endangerment, and disorderly conduct. He was taken to Luzerne County Prison for lack of $75,000 bail. Around $5 billion will be allocated to schools across Pennsylvania as part of the federal COVID-19 aid package. The money will go directly to both public and charter schools throughout the state. The Wolf administration said at least 20% of the funding must be used for educational losses from the pandemic. Remaining funding can be used for technology, mental health services, sanitation costs, and other related expenses. The Hazleton area school district's set to receive around $35.5 million. The Berwick area school district will be allocated $6.5 million, and Bloomsburg area will receive around $2.8 million. The federal aid package was signed by President Joe Biden earlier this month. The Department of Health announced plans to accelerate the vaccination timetable for eligible Pennsylvanians. The Commonwealth is adapting its plan to allow workers in targeted industries to access vaccines that are available at providers across the state. As of today, grocery store workers, firefighters, law enforcement, and those working in food and agriculture will be part of the accelerated phased rollout. Pennsylvanians eligible within Phase 1B can start scheduling appointments on April 5th, followed by those in Phase 1C April 12th. Starting April 19th, all adult Pennsylvanians will be eligible to schedule their appointments. The department notes that eligibility does not guarantee immediate vaccination appointments. People can visit the DOH's website or call their hotline at 1-877-724-3258. And speaking of, Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton announced available COVID-19 vaccination appointments. Eligible residents in the state's Phase 1A category can make an appointment by calling 833-584-6283 or by signing up for LVHN's patient portal at lvhn.org/mylvhn. Phase 1A includes healthcare workers, staff, and patients at long-term care facilities, people over the age of 65 and under 65 with qualifying medical conditions. Honda's recalling over 600,000 vehicles nationwide for potential loss of engine power and vehicle stalling. Much of the Honda and Acura model lineup from 2018 to 2020 is being covered in the recall, which concerns a potentially defective impeller or the rotating part of the fuel pump. Luckily, so far, the company hasn't received any reports of crashes or injuries. The company also said owners will be notified sometime in late May by mail. Once they receive that notification, they should take the affected vehicles to an authorized dealer to have the fuel pumps replaced for free. Owners can also double-check to see if their vehicle is included in the recall by visiting recalls.honda.com or calling 888-234-2138. Coming up on Wyln News, details on an upcoming Veterans Luncheon. Plus, get your fishing rods ready for this weekend. But first, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hey, do you want to build a snowman? It's gonna snow lots tomorrow. Thank you.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on Wyln TV 35. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call Wyln News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@wylntv.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
The Rotary Club of Hazleton would like to honor veterans with an upcoming luncheon. The event will take place Saturday, April 17th at Booty's Italian Restaurant from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anyone that wishes to join must register and provide military ID, including a CAC card, DD-214, reservist ID, or a driver's license denoting veteran status. You can register by contacting Kathy O via email at koh@physical.com or by calling 570-501-1808. Seating's limited and reservations are required due to COVID-19 restrictions, so sign up ASAP. The adventures of Moana and her village of Motunui will be brought to life on stage by the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts in Moana Junior. And with the help of their newly refreshed Youth Arts Education Department, registrations now open for children ages 6 through 16 at $85 per student. The workshop set for 6 p.m. Tuesday, April 6th at PTPA. Weekly rehearsals will be held Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 and Saturday mornings from 10 to 12:30 p.m. While at rehearsals, each student must follow all COVID guidelines and restrictions. Be sure to check out ptpashow.org for all the details. Get your fishing rods ready to kick off trout season this weekend. Last year, the PA Fish and Boat Commission decided to hold off their annual opening day announcement until last minute to avoid traditional crowds since it was during the early stages of the pandemic. But this year, day one is set for 8 a.m. this Saturday, April 3rd. The Commission made the change to a single statewide opening day in hopes that more anglers would fish closer to home and limit concerns about pandemic overcrowding. Over 4.2 million trout will be stocked for the 2021 season, which includes over 13,000 trophy golden rainbows and other trout ranging from 15 to 22 inches. Happy fishing! Coming up on Limestoneville's News Choice, we're talking vaccines and mammograms on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Plus, we've got part 3 of David Pedri leading the way. So stay with us.
This Good News Wednesday, we travel to City View Park as local groups and organizations and even the Easter Bunny handed out goodies for the new Easter drive-thru event.
The City of Hazleton Recreation Department, along with the Mayor Cassatt Revitalization Hazleton Fund, got together to put together an Easter drive-thru. We were able to get about 13 to 14 vendors who are here, so different organizations from throughout the greater Hazleton area, including Unico and Rotary, Lehigh Valley Health Network. They're all here handing out goodies to everyone who drives by. So in this time of COVID, it was just a great opportunity to have some Easter cheer this year. So we're just glad that we're able to do it and give back to the community who has been through so much this year.
That's your Good News Wednesday. Thank you for joining us here on WYLN.
This special Pocono Mountains Magazine series has presented the facts. The COVID-19 vaccine is safe and it's free. And while developed fast, it's effective. Are you still on the fence?
We get patients who aren't sure about getting the shot.
It's okay to be cautious with what you put in your body. But let's face it, this is a vaccine.
And we're in a global pandemic, the kind that hopefully happens only once every 100 years.
So what are some good reasons to not take the vaccine?
There really isn't one. The key now is to sign up.
It's safe, it's free, and it's our best shot at getting our lives back.
Our hospitals are registering patients online for when you qualify for the next phase of vaccine rollout.
We got the shot, and now you can. We're in this together.
Together.
We're in this together.
If we all do our part, we can win against this deadly virus.
And trust us when we say,
We're ready to get back to some kind of normal.
normal would be nice.
Normal would be nice. So trust your local hospitals and pharmacies, your doctors and nurses. Go to PoconoMountains.com/COVID-19.
You can find out how to get signed up.
And when it's time, get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
We presented the facts and the people. Now you decide. Visit PoconoMountains.com/COVID-19. It's safe, so please sign up.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Wellness Wednesday here on WYLN. We are joined by Dr. Priya Sareen, who is the Imaging Director of Breast Health Services for the Lehigh Valley Health Network. So without further ado, Dr. Sareen, if we could talk about what we're going to be discussing today, which is the COVID-19 vaccine and mammograms. So let's start off. Can the side effects from a COVID-19 vaccine affect the results of a mammogram?
Yes, absolutely. So like with any vaccine, your lymph nodes will sometimes swell in response to a vaccine. It's simply a response demonstrating that your body is forming antibodies and your lymph nodes will be a little bit swollen. So we do capture a bit of those lymph nodes within the armpit region on a standard mammogram. So we are seeing some of that after a woman gets a COVID vaccine.
What would be your recommendation should people schedule a mammogram before they get a vaccine? Should they wait, the 2 week, I believe it's a 2 week period afterwards to then schedule their mammogram? Or, should they wait until if they get 2 doses, should they wait until that's all settled to get their mammogram scheduled?
So timing is definitely everything. What we are asking is that women either schedule their screening mammogram before they receive any COVID vaccine or 4 to 6 weeks after they're done with vaccination. So, if you're getting a 2-shot regimen, then you would be 4 to 6 weeks after your second shot. And if you're getting a single, just after the 1.
And could you explain kind of why this all happens, why we're seeing that? I think sometimes people worry that, crazy theories come out that, if you get the vaccine, it's going to give you breast cancer. We don't want to address that here. Especially folks, we do not want to push that forward. We want to, get to the truth. Can you talk to us a little bit about why that happens in a mammogram?
Sure. So a standard mammogram, just to take a step back, will capture a portion of the armpit region. It's normal to have lymph nodes in that region. It's also called the axilla or axillary lymph nodes. So totally normal for us to see a few of those on a year-to-year basis. Any vaccine, and that includes the COVID vaccine, is going to lead to your body making an immune response. It's a good thing. If your body reacts to a vaccine and forms antibodies, your lymph nodes should swell. It's a normal part of the pathophysiology of receiving a vaccination. So when those lymph nodes get a little bit bigger, sometimes we'll notice that on a mammogram if it happens to be within the field of view, and then you may get called back. And that's what we're trying to prevent, some of that extra anxiety from getting called back from a screening mammogram.
And is there any special concern for breast cancer survivors regarding this topic?
Yeah, what we're doing right now is we're adjusting the timing for screening mammograms. Diagnostic mammograms, meaning if you have an active problem, you feel a lump or pain, and certainly our breast cancer survivors, especially the first 5 years after their diagnosis, they're going to be a diagnostic exam. We don't want those women to delay coming in. If we happen to see lymph node swelling in these patients and they have the appropriate history of COVID vaccination, we will just follow it up on a short-term basis. And certainly there's an imaging appearance that's more consistent with vaccination response as opposed to something more worrisome.
Getting away from the COVID vaccine just a little bit and more towards breast cancer awareness and getting your mammogram, anything for our listeners to know, anything you want when to get checked out and when to go about this procedure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We continue to recommend an annual screening mammogram starting at the age of 40. Certainly, some women who have a family history, you may start earlier, and that's something you can talk to your doctor about. But generally, we recommend that you start about 10 years earlier than any first-degree relative or age 40, whichever happens sooner. That's the recommendation at this point. If you ever feel a new lump or pain, nipple discharge, those are indications for what's called a diagnostic mammogram, and you would receive an ultrasound in that setting as well. So it's important for you to kind of keep in mind that there's two different scenarios, that being with screening being just your annual routine preventative care, and a diagnostic when you actually have a problem.
All right, that'll do it for us here on Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Priya Serene, thank you so much for talking to us. And folks, remember that if you're going to be scheduling a mammogram and if it's kind of associating around the time of the COVID-19 vaccine, keep in mind what Dr. Serene has been talking about today. And aside from that, please, if you are of that age group that can be looking into getting your mammogram scheduled, please look into it. Always remember to be on the lookout for those kind of things. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and thank you folks for joining us here on our Wellness Wednesday on WYLN.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Moore & Associates, accountants and advisors located at 751 North Church Street in Hazleton. Contact them for all your individual and business tax and accounting needs.
Two Italian Guys Pizzeria. 3 West Diamond Avenue in Hazleton has all your favorites, from pizza, hoagies, salads, entrees, wings, and sides. Always made with the freshest ingredients. Call them at 570-459-2783.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Luzerne County Manager David Pedry's leading the way for part 3 of this week's series.
And welcome back, folks, to Leading the Way. We're joined this week by Luzerne County Manager David Pedry. So, for those of you got into the position of county manager, and it's a new position. So
Sure.
For those who don't know what the county manager does, could you talk a little bit about that? And could you explain, because it's a new position, how that pertains to Luzerne County's form of government.
Sure. So there's 67 counties across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We are one of the only home rule form of government. So in 2008, obviously, we had the Kiss for Cash scandal here in Luzerne County. The voters of Luzerne County changed the entire form of government in 2010. In 2012, this home rule form of government took place. And basically, the home rule form of government got rid of all elected officials. So they got rid of the Prothonotary, Recorder of Deeds, Clerk of Courts, elected sheriff, and what they did instead was to have a centralized form of government located under the county manager. Now, there are still 11 county council members, and they act, and I want to say this as a broad sense, they're the board of directors of Luzerne County. They set the tone of the entire county, they set the budgets, they have specific agreements with regards to some contracts, but the day-to-day operations are all run through my office, the county manager's office. We have over 1,400 employees in Luzerne County spread out over 32 separate departments. So I know just enough to be dangerous in 32 separate areas of Luzerne County government. But really what it comes down to is what we do is services. And people don't understand what the county does. So first off, when you're in trouble, you're going to call 911. It means a lot to us that that's a Luzerne County employee on the other line. We run a prison that houses over 650 people every single day. Anything to do with the courts, that's Luzerne County. Human services, drug and alcohol, children and youth, mental health, veterans affairs, all of those things are once again through Luzerne County. Because we do have a 1,400 person corporation, we have a budget and finance team and a human relations team. And we're providing these services across Luzerne County, and we tend to think of ourselves as small. But what it really comes down to is we provide services to over 320,000 people who live in Luzerne County every single day. And the area of Rhode Island, actually the entire state of Rhode Island fits within Luzerne County. So it's a large geographic area. We have everything from our cities, Hazleton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Nanticoke, and Pittston, all the way to some very rural areas and everything in between. As Luzerne County Manager, I oversee all day-to-day operations, everything from emergency management, like I said, human resources. I've learned a lot about management in this role, but it all comes down to that customer service side of things. That's what we're trying to do every day in the county.
That's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.